Hey, 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 it is Friday, May 10th, 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective, we gather here as small business owners, preferably martial arts school owners, right? And we're just trying to get through this thing called life. That's all, right? We're trying to make sense of it. We're trying to scale our businesses, monetize our business by while keeping a balance on a personal level. We have personal goals, retirement, our family, kids, college, maybe, right? We want to take care of our team. We want to impact the communities we serve. But I recognize, and I'm going to share this, this week has been just all about that. I've worked on clients with curriculum development. We've worked on systems. We worked on branding. I talked to another client about their purpose and their why, another client about their intro trial process. It's all those things. And if all you think you're going to do is teach, you are sadly mistaken. You are no longer just a martial artist or a martial arts instructor. You are now a martial arts business owner. And there's so many things that come with that. There just is. Yesterday I did a Costco run because we have a mom and me party this weekend. You do what you got to do. You really, really do. And I think often school owners get overwhelmed with all the different things that need to be done. So my number one tip for that, I'm going to give this to you before I introduce our sponsors and everything. Have Post-its. Take everything that needs to be done, put it up on the wall behind you, boom, 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 and then choose the three top things that jump at you and work on them. Because you will always need to write systems. You will always need to do staff training. You will always need to hire. You will always need to fire. You will always need to improve your customer experience. You will always need to reduce your attrition rate and improve your retention rate. All those things happen all the time that I think often school owners get so overwhelmed, they fall into analysis paralysis. That's not going to be you. Managing your workload, managing the tasks that need to be done, managing your mindset going through them is vital. Is so vital. And I can't express that enough. That's why I spend a lot of time personally on cultivating my mindset. My mind is the biggest muscle on my body, and to be able to feel confident negotiating the challenges of raising teenagers, the challenges of growing older at 62, the challenges of taking care of my retirement, the challenges of the dynamics of our workforce between our locations. It's all there. It's all there. And to be able to manage that gracefully with a sense of peace and balance and positivity is an art within itself. But it's one I'm a huge advocate for, and I work with all my clients because make no mistake, you are in business and you've chosen to do one of the hardest things to do, which is own a small business. Cool? All right. So as you come aboard, say hi. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Who are you? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Name of your school. Who are you and where you're tuning in from? So let's begin by thanking our sponsors. We have Tusaw, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. I'm not simply an influencer or a brand ambassador for these products. I use them in my businesses. I use Tusaw and buy uniforms and belts and stuff from them. I use Market Muscles for my website. My Studio is our CRM system. Kids Love Life Skills, which we'll talk about today, is our character development component in our businesses. And LC Accounting, Letitia handles my bookkeeping, as well as many other things to help manage our businesses really, really well. So if you're looking for any of these services, you can comment in there, talk to me, DM me later somewhere, and we can give you the lowdown on who these people are. All right, so what do I got coming up? It's Time Life Purpose, right? That's November 9th through 12th, right here in Millbrae, California. 5 minutes from SFO. 5 minutes, right? 4 days is what you need. You are your best investment. And if you can't afford to spend 4 days with me, you better afford to spend 4 days with me. You know what I mean? It's really just about that. And if you've been stuck at 75 to 100 students for a year, 3 years, 5 years, a decade, you really need to make some fundamental changes in your business, unless that's your version of success. And then who cares what I think? Cool, cool, cool. So maybe I don't have the link for that yet. But when it comes out, only 20 spots, 4 days, you need to be there. Cool, cool, cool. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about life skills, and I'm going to lean hard into Kids Love Life Skills, but I want to pre-frame how this all came about. Growing up in the martial arts and growing up very poor, I lived in an environment, where you simply did what you were told because you would be hurt if you didn't. My father was extremely abusive physically to us. I grew up in a neighborhood where you do as I say. If you don't, I'm going to beat you up. I grew up where give me your shoes. No, I'm not. Then I'm going to beat you up for your shoes, right? You'd walk through certain neighborhoods that were considered some gang's territory, and simply because you were there, they beat you up. So physical violence was a norm for me. It was an everyday thing for me. And the way I saw that pathway, at least for me, if I continued behaving that way and simply lived from, physical violence, right? That I'm a dominant here because I can beat you up. You do as I say because I can beat you up. You give me what I want or I can beat you up. I recognize I would either end up dead or in jail because you can't fight all the time. So I know there's the big controversy in our industry that simply centers around you're not teaching real self-defense. You're some life skills school. And you see that controversy. I've seen that bubble over a couple of times now. I believe you can do both. I believe we can help people become better people through the life skills that we can teach better than basketball, soccer, gymnastics, anything else that's out there. And the reason I think strategically this is very, very sound and a practice I encourage is I want people to view us as as an investment versus an extracurricular activity, right? And you'll always be labeled as an extracurricular activity. If I can place you side by side with basketball and see, okay, it promotes team, it promotes you're learning to be coachable, because if you're not coachable, you're not employable. It promotes physicality, right? It builds confidence on the surface. But the minute you have this really strong character development component woven into your curriculum and part of your culture, it sets you apart. It sets you apart. But if I, as the parent, don't see that because of the culture of the school you currently have, then you know what? Baseball rolls around. See ya. We're busy with baseball. Soccer rolls around. See ya. We're busy with soccer, right? Basketball rolls around. See ya. Because they don't see the value in that. And that's where strategically, beyond the life skills component, we cultivated the once a week program. We find if the student is twice a week or 3 days a week and they go to do a sport, as long as I have the flexibility in scheduling, they will absolutely change to a once a week membership. So you don't lose them altogether. And that's we've seen that happen many, 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 many times. And we're grateful for that. Had we not had the once a week program in place, they would have quit altogether and probably never made it back to the fold. Never made it back. So I recognized that early on, growing up in that world of violence, of physical violence, where that's how it went. I recognized I'd end up dead or in jail. So I understood that the emotional intelligence that can come with martial arts is powerful. And there was this great documentary done on me when I was 14 years old. It sits at YouTube called Rebop. And in it, they're interviewing my father. And he made this statement that just has stuck with me forever and ever and ever and ever. He said, the martial arts is 40% physical and 60% mental. So what was he saying with that? I think that's obvious, right? Right. I mean, it's really, really obvious. Hey, what's up, Bob Poole from Goals Martial Arts? And thank you for saying hi, Bob, as you come aboard, folks. Let us know you're there. I think it's a trip when people reach out to me and they say, I've been following you for years. I go, really? How come you never said hi? Right? Oh, I don't know. Right. I'm glad Bob comes on and he always says hello when he's here. So if you are here, say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from, and I would appreciate that. And please share this. Share this on all your different social media pages, and let's see if we can help more school owners create their version of success. So, after rewatching that documentary, I really understood that number one, impact wise, I could impact the communities I serve so much better if I had a very, very, very effective would be a good word for right now character development system in place. Second, if a parent views you as an investment versus an extracurricular activity, will that improve retention? Absolutely. Will it reduce attrition? Absolutely. Right? But I think the big thing is it can't be random. It can't be, I'm in the mood today to talk about focus. I'm going to talk about that. Or, I just saw somebody's blog. They're on confidence this month. So I'm going to bite down on that. Much like your curriculum, it has to be structured. It has to be implemented. It has to follow a calendar. And if it doesn't, then I believe you're in a challenging situation. Cool. So really, really think about that. And last but not least, um, as kind as I can be with this, well, there's no kind way. Do not think because you are a black belt that you are qualified to teach character development. You are not. You are a black belt. You earned a black belt in martial arts. You did not earn a black belt in child psychology with character development. I have spent 15 years now reading, studying, right? I don't have a degree or anything, or any kind of certification, but it's been my lifelong commitment. And when I recognized that, I really went down that rabbit hole hard 15 years ago, reading, studying everything on child development, child psychology, even post pandemic. There's just so many variables. And now the effect of social media. You can't tell me, well, kid's a kid, discipline's discipline. No, it's not. No, it's not. I grew up without computers and cell phones. And I'm going to tell you, today's terrain is much different than it was 30 years ago when there were no cell phones, there were no computers, and there was no social media at all. At all. Just look at music. Go to Apple Music right now and look at the top 100. Explicit, 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 explicit. The F word is thrown around my house like nobody's business, right? Because my kid hears it in every song. And we try to be a little lenient at home. I would check my kids in public, but a word is just a word. I'm just saying it's different today. You with me? So life skills need to evolve. They simply do. And that's why the evolution of Kids Love Life Skills to where we are today is what I'd like to share with you. So here's the philosophy. If I educate the parent, I educate the kid, I educate the instructor, I create this culture of life skills. If everybody's on the same page, then it offers me the opportunity to build this tribe where people are not buying into my martial arts school. They believe. They believe. And when people believe, they will spend a lot of money with you. And that's a fact. Extreme end of that, look at some of these churches, look at some of these cults where people give their homes, their life savings, everything to that. Now, I don't believe that's who we should be. But if you look at the word culture, which is thrown around loosely, the first four letters are cult. Be mindful of that. So many martial arts schools are built around the ego of the master. No way. No way, no way, no way. It's important that we cultivate an inclusive culture in today's world, inclusive, where everybody feels empowered. I believe that. I believe that. So, by educating the parent, educating the student, educating the instructor, we create a culture where people haven't bought into it. They believe in what you do. Cool. And then I think the second component of that is when people walk through the door, you reassure the parent diligently that no child is born with confidence. No child is born with discipline or whatever their pain point might be, right? I want my child to learn to focus. No child is born with focus. The good news is it can be taught to them in an age and skill level specific manner. And through practice, it becomes a habit. And through that habit, that child is empowered. That alone drops a lot of the anxiety parents feel coming through the door. And I'm a parent, and my kid's not just some freaking idiot, right? And God, what am I going to do with my kid? Parents feel that. You can't tell me you don't, right? You do at some point if you've had kids as long as I have. So, again, that second component is very valuable, very valuable. So, what else happens right away in that trial? We will immediately know their pain point. And if it is focus, here's what we offer them. Marco, can we pull up the student parent discovery sheet for focus? All right. Oh, that's the drill, sir. I need the student parent discovery sheet. Nope. Instructor support. Nope. There it is. So here's our student and parent discovery sheet. And with this, we will affix the badge to the upper right corner where it says focus, the actual merit badge. And so if their goal is focus, we hand this to the parent. And while they're sitting there during the trial, watching their child in the trial, they can glance over this. This alone, nobody is going to hand this to a parent. Nobody. So it's powerful, right? They have this component right here. It's written as an overview. It's written in a kid language. Focus is awesome because it helps you do things better, like crossing the street safely, riding a bike, or enjoying a movie, right? And then parent, focus is very important life skill for your child to learn. See, then it's written in parents' term. Even that little gap on one page offers a different learning, one for the child, one for the parent. And on the back side of this, we put the coloring sheet. And this coloring sheet for us, get over to that coloring sheet, Marco. All right. So the coloring sheet for us is designed for the parent to color with the child so they can discuss how does this scene show focus, right? And of course, we got one karate element up there in the corner, but as we evolve, it's very, very inclusive, right? You see the girl shooting the bow or arrow wearing her. Well, what is the word for that, Marco? Ha ha. It starts with an H, but we want to be inclusive. So, ethnicity wise, some of our coloring sheets now have children with special needs in them. We want to show that in our culture, everybody's included, right? Everybody's included. And that's real important because when they're coloring this really sets a tone. And of course, on the left side, you can put your school logo there because you do want to co brand with kids of life skills that's used worldwide. And it's proven. And then we'll take this coloring sheet and we put it up on the coloring wall. Do you have that, Marco? And hey, I see people sitting there as you come on aboard. Say hello. Who are you? Who are you? And this is super cool. The coloring wall for us, somebody said to me, your school's so cool. It's so branded. That coloring wall looks really sloppy. And I said, well, it's okay. And you want to know why? I remember when my son was in first grade, my daughter's in kindergarten, second grade, and we have back to school night. The first thing we, goad on is for the best word I can offer you is when we walked into my son's classroom, the first thing I looked for was for his artwork up on the wall. Or I looked for my daughter's, project sitting on the table. Ooh, as a parent, yeah, look at that. That's my kid. So again, a talking point in your school when you're doing your school tour, this is one of them. There's an organic, natural kinship with the parent to feel elated. It's so natural to want to look at this and go, there's education. And look at that. You got empathy, you got control, you have honesty, right? When your wall is rich with all these different life skills, super, super powerful. So again, I need these life skills to go home and I need them to be interactive and I need them to take root in their home. Because if a parent says to you, I wish my child was as well behaved at home as they are at your school, we have failed. But I will not police your house. I'm not sending something home in order to bell test. Your parents must sign off on these three things. Your teacher must sign off on these three things. Your pediatrician must sign off. We're not doing that. I am not policing you at home, but I will inspire you with tools like this, the student parent discovery sheet and the coloring sheet to take home and implement it based upon your family values. So that's what's really neat. When we hand this to the parent, we tell them right away in that first talk, we would never, ever tell our parents how to parent, but we will give you tools. So based upon the dynamics of your household, you choose how your child will earn this focus merit badge. The key word is earn because the foundation of Kids Love Life Skills is learn to earn. Write that down. And when kids are learning to earn things, that carries into every fabric of what we do. Our curriculum, there's Learn Week, and then there's Earn Week. First week, you're learning curriculum. Second week, you're earning the stripe. That is the process, the foundation that is one of our brand absolutes, and we don't waver from. Because learning to be a lifelong learner and loving learning is so important to anybody's personal success. It is for me. I'm a constant learner. I'm learning all the time. So that's part of our culture and the fabric of what we do at One Martial Arts. So the system is called Learn to Earn. So the value of the student parent discovery sheet, the value of the coloring sheet. Now, let's look at the display case. And I think at the minimum, I hope you're embracing all of this is very well thought out. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not like we just made this up, right? Through being a kid in the martial arts at the age of 5 in 1967, seeing the advantages and disadvantages of training with adults, seeing no real life skills component. My father would just rattle off whatever he wanted to, depending upon his mood, that a structured life skill system was in order if I'm going to position my school as an investment versus 6 weeks of an extracurricular activity. You with me? So now here's another talking point. This display case actually was developed because when I originally didn't have Kids Love Life Skills, I hadn't created it yet, I would buy badges from other companies, right? And they would come in and they would sit in a drawer on a shelf. It was very random. So out of sight, out of mind. And my instructors would randomly implement them. I would randomly implement them if I remembered to do so. If I remembered to do so. So there was no real structure. But with this display case, post it somewhere prominently in your school. Literally, I have kids stand in front of this like a kid in the candy store. Oh, I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. It's colorful. It's bright. We even the height level we set it at is kid height level, right? So that they can see it. And it's still viewable by a parent, but it cultivates that. Again, on the school tour, another talking point, another very valuable talking point. And now it's not out of sight, out of mind. We even have an acrylic frame that displays what life skill we're working on in our schools. We do one life skill every 2 weeks, one different life skill for each of our programs, because I found most schools will do one life skill for the whole school over a month. And for me, that's not enough. If you're on a 4-week trial in my school, right? Hypothetically, we don't do those anymore, but if you do it in your school, a 4-week trial, I want to know at the end of 1 month, when your trial wraps up, you have 3 life skills badges. Why? Because when you get your uniform, we automatically have the family student parent discovery sheet and the family badge there. And we go through that same spiel, right? We don't tell you how to parent, make your kid earn this based upon the dynamics of your household. And then they'll earn 2 life skills badges in class, right? Over the 4 weeks that they're there. And they'll have these discovery sheets to take home. And we would have made sure they did the coloring sheet and it went up on the wall. And maybe they'll win a t-shirt at the end of the month. See, so all these different things create that experience because, of course, in the 4-week or 6 weeks you do or 2 weeks that you do, it's not about closing them. It's quite the opposite. I don't want to close the deal. I want to open the door and open your eyes to the potential of this relationship if you're willing to give it a chance and invest in it. So I want to put my best foot forward. We even go as far as sending you a welcome postcard. I don't know if we have the postcards, Marco, but even the postcards are designed to look like the badges. So again, reinforcing the character life skills. And the badges are a big part of it because that is the reward system. After you get the student parent discovery sheet and learn, after you have this coloring sheet, and we'll get into a minute, the life talk, you have all these components. There has to be a reward. The destination is, I want to earn this badge. And they're peel and stick, which is really, really neat. You peel and you stick them. And they fit right on the stiffest part of the uniform. So if you do BJJ, I don't recommend you put it on the lapel. Find somewhere they're not grabbing on. There you go. Thank you. So we put it on the lapel like this. And it's powerful. You can customize them. As you can see, Marco did a custom badge with his brand for Focus Martial Arts. I think it's super cool. Very, very cool. That's our newest badge, safety. And you can be confident we're always cultivating new life skills, because in today's world, emotional intelligence is getting people the highest paid jobs. That is it. All over here where we're at right now, emotional intelligence. Everything I see at LinkedIn for consultants, they're all that one component they're asking for upper level management, for CEO is emotional intelligence. So that's another thing I'm reweaving into some of the language, that emotional intelligence is the key to having a peaceful life, to being successful in every way, right? In today's world, emotional intelligence. So add that to your list when you're talking to people about life skills. So the badges, as I shared, again, this wasn't an original idea, but I saw Boy Scouts, I saw Girl Scouts, and they earned merit badges. So when a school owner will say to me, I want to order some patches, please don't call it a patch. You just totally devalued it, right? And I don't use stickers. Please don't use stickers. You can get those at supermarkets and stuff. Starbucks, Trader Joe's. Please don't use stickers. Don't. They end up at the bottom of your bench or something, right? How many stickers have you found stuck to the bottom of your benches in your school or a chair? So don't use those. These are very, very meaningful. They're very decorative. They're appealing. They're made well, and they're peel and stick. And as long as somebody doesn't sit there and rip it off, it'll stay on that uniform. It will for 6 months at the minimum through washing and everything. And then we do, courtesy of the Boy Scouts, we buy badge magic. Badge magic. And that allows them to reaffix the badge. Cool? So we think about these things and the experiences that people go through. And if they lose a badge, who cares? Give them another one. Give them another one because it's pennies on the dollar if it's going to improve your retention. As I say all the time, don't step over a dollar to pick up a penny. You with me? You with me? Okay. Now let's go on to the life talk, Marco. You know, the life talks I'm very proud of. They are the heart and soul in the classroom environment of allowing us to really connect in a big, big way. And that's why in our schools, there is no glass. There is no glass between us and them. I was speaking to a school owner yesterday, and he's had a really hard time converting his trials. And I right away I went in and I said, "Well, tell me more about the environment of your school." Well, plexiglass. What? So the parents can't hear what you're teaching in that intro. Well, not really. Also, they can only visually see it. This kid with no confidence standing there on the first day of class. They don't know you from Adam. This is a new environment for them, and they already suffer the anxiety of low self-esteem. And all the parent sees is what they've been conditioned to see time and time again, their child suffering awkwardly. I said, "Sir, you got to take that down. Take it down. Because if I can hear you talking about the values of the life skills you teach and creating that potential and giving that parent hope, everything changes. Everything. So creating an environment where the parent who pays the bill, who decides to invest or not, can be involved in the class is super important. Cool? And that's my free frame for this. And I'm going to want to stay with this for a minute because when you have this captive audience, right? The parents are there, that captive audience. We even took it a step further, and you'll see it all over the world now. People use the pony wall that I created that has a slanted angle like this on the top of the pony wall. One, they can't put their coffee on it, but you know what it forces them to do? Because our benches have no back for them to lean back against, it forces the parent to lean in, which psychologically and physically, they're more engaged. So everything you're teaching with that life skill is amplified. Even that we think about. I know, right? I know. Sometimes I think my wife thinks I'm nuts because there's stuff I think about all the time because I'm really that school of thought of Disney, Apple, Nike, right? I want to create that environment, If you ever go into the Zappos headquarters in Vegas, it's like Disneyland, right? Cultivating that experience for people should be priority. Sometimes even more than running a Facebook ad or anything else. Creating that environment where people want to be a part of something special, you cultivate that. So they're leaning in on that pony wall. And when we launch into our life talk, the one thing I don't recommend, and I see so many schools do this, okay? Hold that thought. If anyone else is here, tell us you're here, put in your name, where you're tuning in from. I love it. I love it. And share this. Share it with as many people as you can. And if not, we're going to post the replay after. Is that you do your life skills talk at the end of class. Please don't do it at the end of class. You want to know why? Because the last experience for a kid is you doing a life talk. I have no desire to come back to that class. But if I end the class with something cool like dodgeball, board breaking, zombie tag, black belt defender, something really cool and fun, and I'm in that that emotional state, and I leave there just happy as a clam, bouncing around, moving, grooving, I want to come back. So a lot of schools will end with the life talk. We do not. We do not. I'm going to tell you why. The strategy of that is, what's up, Marty and Beth? Black Dragon Martial Arts. We do our warm-up. We do our stretch. Then they meditate for 30 seconds. And that's another thing so many schools have taken out, meditation. That's something we offer that no sports, no environment offers. And even 30 seconds. Of course, we do a guided meditation. We don't leave a kid sitting there to his own devices. No, they sit in Seizon, and we will say, with your eyes closed, think about learning, paying attention, doing your best, and having fun. And then we go backwards. It's always fun when I do my best, and I can only learn when I pay attention. It's a guided meditation. I think the reason people took meditation out completely is because this kid's bopping around and what the heck's going on there, right? What's going on there? So we say sit like a black belt. We find politically and socially telling people to kneel is not a good word. Is not a good word. I actually had a full-grown adult say, I only kneel in church. I'm not kneeling in your martial arts class. Okay, cool. So how do we say sit like a black belt? You with me? So it has all these things we've experienced through years and years and years. So the guided meditation is so vital that when they open their eyes, we launch into the life talk. Now, again, I'm going to have to say these life talks were inspired by a couple of variables. Number one, my father would lecture at the end of class. And back then, there were 2-hour classes to begin with, and there wasn't a class before or after. There were just 2-hour classes, and everybody trained together. You know, to sit there when you have back to back to back to back classes and you let one class run over, which throws off the schedule for the next 3 classes, is not a good day. Live by the discipline. A good class starts on time and it finishes on time. It does what? It starts on time and it finishes on time. No excuses. Zero. Zero. You with me? All right. So then once they open their eyes for meditation, we will say, the life talk. The other part of this being a musician, I thought it was always very cool. You're playing a song, then you go to the breakdown, right? And in the middle of it, let's use rap as an example. We all know this one. Everybody say ho, and the whole audience screams ho. And I picked up on that being a musician playing live. They're interacting with you. So these open-ended lectures that a lot of us will do, including me at times, I still have those moments. It's not empowering. Your average 17-year-old kid can't do that. So when I scripted these, I am a speaker, a TED Talk speaker. I've done my research. I've tested these things. I created life talks that I believe position a 17, 18-year-old kid to be seen in the best way possible. Number 2, it delivers the information that parent will view you as an investment. Number 3, it's interactive. The kid is interacting with you. Okay. So for example, if I say, who can say focus? The whole room shouts out, focus. Focus means to pay attention. What does focus mean? The whole class shouts out to pay attention. Focus is awesome because it helps you do things. The whole room shouts out better. On and on and on. So this call and response where they finish your sentences, where the class completes your sentences, engages them. And the minute that happened, the magic began to reveal itself. The big thing I found when writing these sentences, I have to go back and rewrite them sometimes. Now, is it correct to say good instead of well? We know it's not correct English. How are you doing today? I'm doing well, sir. I get that. But you know what? You ask the average 6-year-old, they're going to say good. How are you doing today? Good. So I'm going to write that in there. I had a hardcore parent come up to me and tell me that is improper English. Yeah. Well, you know what? So's eating my boogers. I'm freaking 5. What do you want me to do here? Right? So again, age specific, skill level specific, no matter what, that is part of our commitment when we created Kids Love Life Skills. So this live talk is super empowering. And we have great training videos for it. Maybe you can find that link, Marco, of how to implement this stuff. We keep it public at the Kids Love Life Skills website because we want you. We want you to be empowered. And when you really get it, you really get the life skills and the value behind it, and you put the investment into it, that's when the magic happens, because it's going to help you retain students better. It's going to help empower the child, the parent, and your team, and everything changes. So great. There's the link for the training videos. So those are the main components, right? And then last but not least is the instructor handout. Because when we do staff training, we go over this, the live talk, but we also go over the instructor handout. Can you pull that one up for me, Marco? Mm. All right. So in it, we talk to our team. And because if you want, this is an obvious life skill, but say you're doing something like empathy or gratitude, right? You can't expect a 15, 16-year-old to get the value of that. So by giving it to them very specifically and helping them understand that is important, right? Like here, children often have a short attention span because they are still developing. That's important, right? 6-year-old kid might think he's being disrespectful. He's not listening to me. It's got nothing to do with it. So to sit there and discuss that with your team in staff training empowers the team and helps them develop empathy, which is one of the main emotional intelligent life skills, right? And then we put in cues, and these cues are super important. I like how you are looking at me when I'm speaking with you. That's awesome. I focus because if you do this great life talk, right? It's roughly a minute. We're very disciplined. Life skills is one sheet for that life talk. That's it. If it goes over, I go back and edit it again. If you can't deliver the gist of it in one page, then you better go back to the drawing board. And that to me was one of the challenges with the other life skill systems in the beginning. They gave me a book. I'm not going to decipher all this and do it over a month, but it's very simple. Hand out the student parent discovery sheet at the beginning of every class, right? We're on focus today, folks. Who needs focus? And you pass that out. They also get the badge. They can take that from the new holder that we have for them to take home and earn that badge. They get the coloring sheet. We deliver the live talk in class, and we've trained the team. It's a very simple implementation. So what I love about it doesn't really step on your curriculum. It doesn't step on what you're trying to do, but you have to use that to the fullest, okay? Don't sit there like one school owner. I do one life skill every 2 months and I send it home. You see this look on my face? You've missed the boat. You want to make life skills interwoven with everything that you do in your school. So all these cues are there so that during the class, we are still implementing that life skill. So whatever we're working on, let's say it's a front kick. That's awesome ear focus, how you executed the kick right away when I said so. Make sure you do things at home right away. Kick, punch, kick, punch, kick, punch. Right? It's all done that way. But if you simply do that life skill in a life talk and never again throughout the class, you failed. That life skill should be interwoven into every drill, every skill of whatever it is that you're teaching. You with me? Super, super important. And people miss the value of that because I want people to be immersed in the culture of what we do at One Martial Arts. So all of that is available. Cool? Everybody got that? Now, how do we award the badges? Well, it's discretionary. I'll be doing the live talk and I'll say, Mary, that's awesome. I focus how you're looking at me when I'm talking. Mary, you get the first focus badge of class today. Boom. Everybody sits up straight and looks at me. I don't have to say to anybody else in the room, look at me when I'm talking. What should you be doing right now? It's mitigated. How many times have you been in a class where you're sitting there going, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees? Wow, Mary, that's awesome discipline. You're doing your best job with this stance because your knees are bent. The whole room drops 3 inches and they bend their knees. So you with me? Right. So that's where I'm going with this. And that's what's so neat about it. If you use it to its potential, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Okay. So throughout the whole class, we're talking about that life skill. And everything that's written into the examples predominantly center around home and at school. Because I know being a parent, my two biggest concerns, I want my kid to do well at school and I want them to do well at home. Because that's when I see them the most. Right. So if I can get those two things dialed in, the rest of it, going to Disneyland, swim classes, all the rest, being in Target, all kind of take care of themselves. But it begins at home and it carries over into school. You with me? So as you read through your kids' Love Life Skills, all the different examples center around that. Now, that's probably the biggest challenge for school owners. They're not sure how to award badges. I say when in doubt, award a badge. Use them all the time. I even have school owners that keep some in their pockets. So if they see someone exhibiting black belt behavior in a store, they'll go, "Hi, ma'am, how you doing? My name is Brannon Beliso. I'm from One Martial Arts. I just want to say your kid has awesome respect. I like how they look at you when you're talking, and they answer you right away. Here, sir, I want to give you this respect badge. Even there, I had a mom sign up her kid, and then they said, well, how'd you hear about us, right? I want to know where my advertising dollar is going. She goes, to be honest with you, I was at the grocery store. Some kid was in a karate uniform with all these really cool badges: empathy, gratitude, discipline, confidence, teamwork. I don't care if you teach him to bake chocolate chip cookies. If he's going to learn that here, I want him at your school. You with me? So we're always looking for ways to cultivate this. Another one with the coloring sheets is going to your local restaurants, right? Something as basic as that. Let's see if we can pull that one up, Marco. And you use it, right? You go to a restaurant and you tell them, I want to give you color crayons that you get from Oriental Trading, and I'll supply you with this coloring sheet. And on the other side of this coloring sheet will go the kids menu. Boom. See? Bam. This coloring page is courtesy of Focus Martial Arts. There's a scan code. Scan this code. You can try a free class anytime. So we're using these coloring sheets in our booths, right? Instead of the demo team in our booths, because I know when I'm running a booth, I want that family hanging out as long as possible. Cotton candy, the bubble machine, good music, a coloring station. They can take it home if they don't want to color. The crayons are there, a little 4-pack like you get in a restaurant. They can take it home. You could put these coloring sheets in a dentist's office, anywhere that cater to kids. You partner B2B and you make out, especially restaurants. Restaurants love this stuff. And on the back side, this would be smaller and there'd be enough room for the kids menu. You with me? You're always looking for opportunities to position yourself as the go-to in your community for life skills education. All right. So other opportunities. Here's one we have all the time, right? We use them in our day camps. We use them in our after school program. We use them on buddy days. We use them on, parents' night out. We're always in the position where these kids are learning to earn through these life skills, these badges. It is huge. It is huge. When a parent walks in and their kid who's never been in your school just did parents' night out, and they have a teamwork badge they earned, and they say, how was it tonight? It was awesome, Mom. I learned about teamwork. Teamwork is working together. Look at this badge I earned. Mom, can I get a uniform for my badge? Oh, man, yeah, we got a great special. Feel free to take this call to action, and they get a free uniform when they sign up. Boom, done day. You have another situation, and we can go on and on. School owners come to me with some of the greatest ideas of how they can utilize these badges to promote that their school is an institute of life skills education. Another great one that I love a lot, is when a mom will say to us, man, Johnny was so awesome today. You know what he did? He helped his sister get ready for school, made her a bowl of cereal, and packed her backpack. Well, why is the parent telling us that, folks? They're telling us that because they're saying what you're teaching my child in your school is working. Good job, Johnny. Fist bump, walk away. Or at the end of class, hey, folks, I just want to highlight somebody for a minute. We learned that today this young man took the values of what he was learned here at One Martial Arts, packed his sister's backpack, made her a bowl of cereal, and helped her get ready for school. Johnny, sir, that is black belt behavior. We want to award Johnny a black belt merit badge. Mom is just beaming. She didn't expect it. You're highlighting and spotlighting your kid, and it wasn't just a quick conversation in passing. Good job, Johnny. The potential of what you can do with these badges are unlimited. Another common one. Johnny is thinking about quitting. He's not motivated. He's not practicing. Oh, let's do a quick huddle up, Mom. I'm going to grab the practice badge and the student parent discovery sheet with the coloring sheet on the back. I'm going to grab the teamwork badge, right? And I'm going to grab maybe the black belt badge. Boom. Mom says you're having challenges with practicing, huh? You don't want to do martial arts anymore? I'll tell you what, when you practice at home, 15 minutes a day for the next week, Mom's going to award you this practice badge. And you got to do the coloring sheet too, okay? What does teamwork mean? Working together. Who's our best team in the world? Our family. Well, if I want to show my family they're important and the best team, should I do my practicing? Okay, great. So then the following week, you earn the teamwork badge. And last but not least, when you practice the third week in a row, at the end of that third week, Mom's going to award you the black belt badge. Why do we set it up that way? Any new habit, 21 days, right? 21 days for any new habit. You with me? And that's how that was designed, right? So we're looking for these opportunities all the time, all the time. We have a mom and me party this Saturday in our school. Guess what? At the end of the event, last 15, 20 minutes, every kid's going to stand up and take this Mother's Day card they colored that has inside, I love my mom because 1, 2, 3. And they're going to stand up in front of the whole room and tell everybody why they love their mom. There's not a dry eye in the house. It's one of those memorable moments. Everybody's got a cell phone out. The parents are social mediaing the tar out of this. Because you know what it's like to acknowledge your parents publicly when it's not something they normally do? Huge. But what is the reward? The gratitude badge. You with me? So we're constantly looking for opportunities, and they're there. If you're creative, they are there. So many times parents will ask me for the life talk. I give it to them. So many times parents will ask me for a life skill that we're not working on in that 2 week period. They'll ask us for it so that they can implement it at home. And here's another level. We had a mom. Her son's in our class. The younger sibling, the older sibling are not in our class. Guess what? If we're on a life skill like focus and we're giving it out to the parent for that one child, do you think we're giving her 2 additional badges for the other kids at home? You know we are. You should have everybody earn it. Oh, really? Oh, thank you so much. Now, down the road, is that a potential new student in your school? Yes, it is. So see the depth, and we can go on and on and on and on of how you can utilize these life skill badges. You have an after school program. Maybe if they earn X number of badges, we have a prize wall, right? If you earn all these badges in a month period, you get to choose a prize off the prize wall. Talk about keeping your after school program tight and right and organized. I don't believe in punishment. If punishment was really worked, our jails would be empty. But I am big on rewards. You do ABC, here's the result. So there's another way. You day camp. Oh man, day camp, they're earning badges all the time. All the time. And that I believe is a huge opportunity for them to become regular martial arts schools after that camp ends. Because all summer long, beyond your dirt tired, which you get in basketball camp, right? You made a lot of friends. You get that in Legos camp or any other day camp, but the life skills badge, the student parent discovery sheet, the coloring sheet, they will not get that in any other camp. But you have to be diligent. Anytime somebody falls off the wagon, I stopped doing the life skill badges. Why? I don't know. I just got lazy. No, no, no. Just like cleaning your bathroom in your school and teaching your curriculum, you have to believe the importance of a character development system. You really, really do. And if you can do that mindfully, the potential for people viewing you as an investment for their child is phenomenal. Because at the end of the day, they don't care if it's BJJ, Kung Fu, Karate, Judo, but they will care if you teach my child to be more respectful in a structured way. They will care if you instill confidence in my child in a structured way. And giving me tools, wow, I get to make them earn this badge at home. Wow, I get to read this with my child and plant seeds. Wow, they get to do this coloring sheet and we can discuss confidence. All those are opportunities to position you as that investment. And that was the byproduct. Because to be honest with you, going back to the top of this broadcast, I grew up in a world where you do as I say because I'm physically stronger than you. It's fear-based. It's not empowering. Do as I say or I will punish you. Do as I say or I'm going to hurt you physically. That's lame. I think it's the biggest pain in this world. Wars. I have more money. I have more resources. I have an army. Do as I say or we will kill you. It's sad. Just freaking sad. So I believe we have a unique opportunity to cultivate that in our children if we go about it in a different way. And if you think, my papa would say, hey, Miss Monique, my papa would say, if you do 10,000 kicks, you'll learn discipline. No, you won't. You learn a really good kick. But if along with those 10,000 kicks, I'm methodically teaching you discipline means to always do your best. How do you feel when you do your best? Great. And if you feel great about yourself, what do you call that? Self-esteem. Kick, punch, kick, punch, kick, punch. Look at Johnny doing his best job by bending his knee, kick, punch, on and on. But it has to become in the fabric of what you do. With every kick, with every punch, with every interaction, you are always promoting the value of life skills. Cool? Cool. So let's open up for some questions. Yep, there's Ralph all the way in Switzerland. Ralph, he's one of our really great in Europe. He's one of our biggest clients for Kids Love Life Skills. And Ralph, I'm grateful to say went from 60 to 200. And what are you at today, Ralph? 216, something like that in student count? Because again, people don't view Ralph as an extracurricular activity. They view his school, Excellent Martial Arts, as an investment for their child, right? 228, Ralph. Whoa. Congratulations, my brother. Congratulations. And happy birthday, my brother. Congratulations, Ralph. 228. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy because we share those values. We just want to take care of our family, right? And give them opportunities we didn't have, right? We want to give back to the community and impact. And Ralph is so disciplined, so diligent, right? He practices new habits because this is not the Ralph I knew when I mentored him at 60 students. I mean, not the same Ralph and not the same school and not the same numbers. Isn't that beautiful? But he will say that Kids Love Life Skills are a game changer. But again, if you don't believe in it and you don't invest in it fully, you will fail. Conrad, what's happening, Conrad, sir? Respect Martial Arts, another great brand. So again, I think the reason people don't look at character development as a huge value and investment like you would a Facebook ad, because you don't see instant results. Well, again, the farmer mentality, you got to be willing, people, to invest in it long term. It takes time before something takes hold. And if I'm consistently in a booth, in a class, at a buddy day, the mom and me party this weekend, everything that we do, including sending extra badges home with the two siblings that don't take martial arts so the whole family can earn it, is monumental in retention, is monumental in planting those seeds. You have to be willing to make that investment. So everybody that's here today that came on late, promise me, I gave you a lot of new ideas on how to implement the badges. Go back, Ralph. Listen to this. Listen to this broadcast. This one especially has some really good nuggets in there that I know you can use to up your game when it comes to character development. So if you have any questions, let's put them in there, please, that you have about Kids Love Life Skills. I encourage you to go to kidslove.lifeskills.com. Look at all the training videos. I encourage you to really, really make that decision because you work with kids that you are going to become a life skills leader. There's not a single ad I don't put out where it doesn't say martial arts and life skills. They go hand in hand with everything that we do. And we promote our culture that way. Cool? So, well, if you put your questions in there, if you have any, let me begin by saying we have It's Time Life Purpose coming up in November 9th through 12th, right here in Millburg, California, 5 minutes from SFO. You want to spend 4 days here. 1 day is all training. Don't know who it's going to be yet, but all training. How to teach better, how to do lesson plans, how to do rotating curriculum. Sunday, all business, marketing. You are in the martial arts business. But Monday, I really love the outdoors of the personal development that we go through. It's a full day of just you and personal development because you need to be on point all the time. And then the last day, Tuesday, we start with wealth building with Sam On. Then we find accountability partners. We eat a good lunch at Benihana's. We strategize on what we learned in 3 days and how we're going to implement them. And we develop those accountability partners. I think it's a very well-crafted 4-day semi-retreat that if you're ready to really take your personal life and your business to the next level, you need to be at It's Time Life Purpose. So when I post that link, better jump on it. Only 20 spots for 4 days. We have a 1 day and 2 day, but we start with filling those 20 spots because that way I can craft everything around those 20 people. And that's important to me to customize it to fit what you need. Why come to the thing and hear the same old song and dance, right? Unless you're ready to hear it at a higher level. Cool? All right, let's thank my sponsors. My sponsors. You got a question, put it in there. I put it in there for us. Tucson, Market Muscles, my studios, of course. We talked about Kids Love Life Skills today. LC Accounting. These are all companies I'm not simply an influencer for. I use these products actively in my businesses. Cool. All right. So let's see. If we don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap it up, man. I'm actually on time, a little bit early. How cool is that? So you want to go to kidslovelifeskills.com. Look at all the training videos there, please. And then I would go through the store. I don't know if we have shots of the badges, Marco, up close. You have an up close shot of a badge? They're crafted well. They're peel and stick, right? That might be a small shortcoming, but nobody's going to sew anymore. They're simply not. But as I shared, if you put it on a sturdy part of the uniform like this, they will stay unless you pick it off. And then, of course, we have badge magic, which the Boy Scouts use. You cut it and you can reaffix the badge. I think that's really powerful as well. Make sure that you go in there and look at our sample support materials. I want you to see that it's very well thought out. Again, if I educate the student, hey, look at that. And we have currently 40 different badges. We just added safety. We have to add adapt. I'm writing the support materials for that. We're starting to redo all the coloring sheets as well. We have an amazing artist who I'm just so passionate about. So even that, we're constantly improving. Those are our current selection of badges, and we're adding more. Service is one of my favorite badges. It teaches people a higher level of emotional intelligence that I think is phenomenal. Phenomenal. You can customize your badge too, huh? Marco has his own custom badge for focus. I recommend that. Again, once you cultivate your brand, that's something that you lean into. Display cases, let's go there for a minute, Marco. In our accessories, we have a learn to earn sign, which you should have posted up, right, above your display cases so that people see it and it's an active part of what you do, right? These display cases, we have all 9, and it's just so, boom. It's like a transformer, man. It's just strong, right? The first row, everyone starts with just the 6 fundamental badges. They choose to do that. But once you get to that point, we have everything. It's powerful. Retention postcards. That's another component. Kids don't get, mail, right? Kids don't get mail. They don't. You're almost there. There it is. Kids don't get mail. So we created these retention postcards. As I shared, when you sign up in our school, you get a welcome postcard. Somewhere during your first month, you're going to get a You're Awesome card. Guess what? If it's your birthday, you're going to get one of those too. Imagine getting 3 postcards in your first month. And guess what? When you quit our school, we send you a thank you postcard, thanking you for spending time with us. So we're really about that because kids don't get mail. But of course, they promote the quality of the badges and Kids Love Life Skills. And then the We Miss You, right, if you miss a class. So they pretty much cover all the bases that are there. And I highly recommend that you invest in these retention postcards as well. Again, the more we position ourselves as a life skills education leader, the better. The better. Cool? All right. So today was a lot, huh? But for everybody that came on late into today's show, please watch this again. If you know anybody out there struggling in their schools, having a life skill component like Kids of Life Skills will change everything about the way people view you. I believe that because it impacts us every day. If you have more questions, reach out to Marco, Letitia, myself. We'll be happy to take you through the different elements of Kids Love Life Skills and answer those questions for you. Today, though, more than Kids Love Life Skills is about understanding. If you're going to be viewed as an investment for a children's activity, you need to have a strong character development component. Cool? All right. I'm Brannon Beliso. Please subscribe to this podcast at all the podcast platforms. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. All of these episodes of Success Never Sleeps are there, as well as my card talks and a lot of valuable information to help you scale, monetize, better your school, your personal life. I believe the information's there. You just have to be willing to invest in your learning. And a lot of this stuff I put out because I have a deep kinship with you, the small business owner. I want to see you successful. That's what we built this country on. That's what I saw in my grandma with her little coffee shops, my dad with his martial arts school. Small business owners are the backbone, but you do need help. And I hope that I can help you with things like my podcast, with things like Success Never Sleeps. Cool? And of course, follow me at Instagram. Go to brandonbeliso.com. Look at my services. All right? I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.